No, you are not all seeing ghosts. We do still. I mean, it's scary. It's been a while since you've seen all of us. We've missed you. We've missed you terribly. I've missed Tup. I've missed everyone. But here we made it. We're here. It's actually a Wednesday at 5:30 ish, which is shocking to everyone. I know. Good. It's episode 88, which was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago.
We're limping our way through to right to 100. We're exactly. Slowly but surely.
We've been talking about this 100 thing for a while, but I feel like we're just trying to stretch it out a little bit. Yeah. Oh, the Queen is here.
Oh my gosh.
The Queen is here.
Make sure I'm buttoned up here.
The Queen is here.
Okay, the Queen.
Exactly. Which Sutton days I owe you a link. Because
what's her link?
Yeah, well, so for anyone who hasn't noticed, we have been even more disjointed than normal lately. It's
like the end of the school year for me, I know. So it's just a crazy time. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have end of the school year. Both of my kids are moving to new schools, so we have graduation promotion stuff that's going on.
That's too.
We decided we were going to put them in basketball each, and so they've had practices that normally used to be on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Now we're on Mondays and Wednesdays, which has just screwed up that schedule for carpool. We were traveling, went to Disneyland last week. So it has just been, and I feel like there's probably going to be a couple more hiccups along the way here as we head into summer. So just bear with us all, and we will try and, maybe you and I can try and figure out the scheduling thing a couple of days in advance, because we tend to last minute change it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been like that for me too. It's just trying to wrap up the school year. My son's going to high school next year, so a lot of those kind of school meetings and parent-teacher meetings, and then it's been crazy times. But I think we made it right now. I see a lot of folks in the chat room. ATF, yeah, we did miss you. It's always nervous when the Sutton Stays is in the audience, but yeah.
And I think
all in all, everything's going pretty well.
Yeah, and I think the other thing we're going to do is we're going to go back. We had talked originally about structuring in some live streams with Sutton's Days and sustainable prepping, and it just kind of became a free-for-all, and then we were shifting things, and Sutton's Days, poor audience didn't know what was going on because we kept changing our minds all the time, and we don't want to do that. So I think what we'll maybe do is, especially during the summer, because we're going to probably be traveling a little bit with summer stuff. I imagine you're going to be traveling with kids and summer stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to be gone a few weeks in July for sure.
Yeah, so what we'll try to do maybe is put together a summer schedule that would work for everybody, so that we can actually nail down some dates with Sutton's Days and with sustainable prepping, and then Tup and I can just kind of freewheel it the rest of the time as we do. And if people can join, that would be great. But then we aren't telling people that hey, we're going to have this thing, and then Sutton's Days had 9 live streams in the time that we had in between our one. She is just so organized.
Yeah, she's like AI robotics.
There's a reason she's the Queen.
Yeah,
there's a reason.
I just forwarded her the link if she.
Oh yeah, if she wants to join, that would be fantastic. See, you're on it. You're on it even better than I am today.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we've been busy. We've been running around. Tup sent me an email last week about what my EDC for Disneyland was.
Yeah.
So I figured we might talk about that. I figure we'll just check in what prepping things we've been up to and all that sort of stuff. And then we'll kind of lay in. So Tup, let's start with you. Prepping projects. What have you been up to for the last, I don't know, has it been 3 weeks or something like that?
Has it been that long? It feels like it's been that long. It's more it's spring cleaning, but not. It's almost summertime now, so getting everything organized for I'm working on a reorganization for the garage and all of our. I did a big office reorganization after finishing up all the tax stuff, and I realized that we just have way too much stuff that's not haven't used for several years, and I'm starting to put together my. I think I'm going to have a prepping garage sale because I have these boxes now that are filled with random preps that they're not in a bug out bag. They're not in a 5-gallon bucket. They're not in a car. They're just, I'm like, these would be better used by another prepper. And so I'm starting to put that together. And so I have no idea how I'm going to plan that, but I don't need it anymore. So it's going to go in for next to nothing.
I love that idea.
Yes.
Also, the queen is here, but we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Now we can hear you. Now we can hear you.
I wasn't talking before.
Oh, I thought you were talking. I thought you leaned down and you were talking, and I was like, we can't hear you. Oh my goodness.
I try not to interrupt, Todd.
Yeah. Let's see. Beyond that, let's see. No EDC modifications for me. Working on a video for a bug out bag thing, but that's taken some more time than I thought it would. But yeah, mainly try to get my prepping garage sale together for hopefully June is what I'm aiming for.
Can we make shirts and sell them at the garage sale that say "Tup Interrupted"?
Tup Interrupted.
I feel like that just made itself. I feel like that was just a thing that happened.
Yeah. It did.
Yeah.
Do you guys actually use your preps? Yeah, I use my preps daily, but not all. Like, I don't use my bug out bag all the time because I haven't had to bug out yet. But as far as like I think EDC stuff you use, that's why you carry it for EDC because it's used daily, whether it be your flashlight or your pocket knife or your multi-tool or your pen or your Band-Aids and stuff. I find that EDC is used the most common. Your EDC bag is then like probably the second tier that's more commonly used. Most of the emergency supply stuff I rarely get to use, and I actually get excited when I get a chance to use it. So like if someone has a bad injury, I get to use this, or if there's been a few other
suture somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get to use my medical staple gun. But hopefully, Lori, for me, I all these preps that I put together in the kits, I hope I never use them. I hope it's a big waste of money and I don't have to ever use my bug out bag or some extreme emergency kit, a trauma kit. I hope I never have to use my trauma kit. But for me, it gives me just peace of mind knowing that I have those things in place.
Yeah, it's kind of like insurance.
Yeah, it's like insurance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of throw it. Hopefully, it's just all a big throwaway thing, and then you have a garage sale, 15 years later of all this stuff, a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, or your wife says you can't buy anything else until you change out something.
Yeah,
like you can't.
We're still going through our battles with because she has her canning stuff that's trying to take over, and so we're battling for storage space. So that's the.
I saw somebody on, it might have been on Instagram. If I see it, I'll send it to you. Who built a shelving unit?
I saw that.
Did you see that?
It's awesome. I was like, man, why didn't I think of that? Like, it was like
one of those, yes.
Where he he took the cheap Costco bins,
and
then made like a customized shelving.
Yeah.
And he sliding it around and everything. It was amazing. I was a little jealous.
I saw that and I'm like, I gotta have one of those.
I was trying to work on something similar for water storage because like the water's so freaking heavy, and I would love to have something like that, but I don't know if I could even move it. Like once you get past like 6 5-gallon jugs, like it'd be pretty heavy to move.
You have to have some good casters on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With some good casters, you could move it.
Okay.
Maybe some all-terrain tires or something.
Every time
with some studs or something, then you just take it anywhere.
Yeah, when you go to Home Depot, because they sell the 5-gallon bottles there, and I've always been inspired. It's like a perfectly organized grid of it's maybe like 7x7 5-gallon water jugs, 2 deep. I'm like, man, that'd be so cool to have in the garage.
That would be very cool to have.
And I've been trying to look if someone knows where. Like I've looked at the brand, I've contacted them. Hey, I'd love to have one of those things, and I'm just like some random
who is this guy? Yeah.
They're more interested in like large, Home Depots and stuff buying
Here I am
for all their stores.
Yeah,
that is a little over the top. For me,
What?
it's not over the top for me.
No, that's not over the top.
Yeah, we're very extra here.
Yeah, I don't like the 55-gallon water jugs, water barrels. I think that you can't move them. Like I can move a 5-gallon jug, and so that's why I prefer having a whole bunch of those. But they don't stack nice, and they're
Rogue Preparedness. Showed me some 5-gallon water jugs last year. I want to say
square ones.
No, but they're actually stackable.
Oh, the water bricks?
No, they're not water bricks. They are
water
like
bricks.
that opaque. I want water bricks.
You do.
Right after.
Are they the dark blue ones, the aquatainers?
Nope. You can see through them, so they're that normal water bottle kind of see through. But it like Culligan, the water service, they got the big jugs. Only these are structured in such a way that you can stack them. The bottom of them is inverted.
I have seen that.
Yeah. So I had to go get a few of them but they're difficult to maneuver when they're full.
Yeah.
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 And so
They're
that's why I
pretty
was
cool.
thinking of that dude that made the Instagram
Yeah.
shelving system. It's wondering it, but yeah, even
I
that.
love that idea. Yeah. I think most rookie preppers go with the aquatainers first because you kind of like see those and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
these will stack and this is a great idea. And then you realize that they're 7 gallons and they weigh like 50 or 60 pounds and
Yeah.
you can't move them. And so, yeah, I've transferred all of mine out and now I have some 5 and 3 gallon little cylindrical water container things.
Okay.
But then, we have the bigger water storage on the side of the house.
Yeah. No, I do want water bricks, but that's a bit of an investment. So it's
they're spendy.
exciting. Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah. Water Legos. Okay. Cat wins. That stole it to me. Okay. So I'm on it.
Paint them different colors.
That's a big cat.
You have just gotten their attention. Yeah.
That is awesome.
They will be making water forts now.
100%.
Yeah.
You have no idea the things we're going to create. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
You could use it for tactical purposes probably as well if you have.
I don't think it'd stop bullets.
How deep in the Legos would you have to be to stop?
Yeah.
This sounds like a test thing. If we were like a fancy like group of channels and everything else and we did this sort of thing, like where we would like take it out somewhere and like see how many bricks you would have to stack in order to like stop that sort of thing.
Fun.
I know a guy who could help to set that up for us. That would be kind of cool.
I love it.
Okay. Yeah. I might have to make some phone calls.
I can't make it because you guys are on the other coast. But yeah.
Is that Phil sighting right there.
That's a Phil sighting, yep.
Okay.
I'm like, do you mind if I go on live?
Yeah.
And irritate these guys? It's like, no, not at all.
Yeah. The queen is never irritating.
You don't know me very well.
Okay, so
is this a new microphone setup?
Yeah.
What?
Do you have a new microphone setup?
Oh, I have been having microphone issues. So this big thing sitting in front of my face, is normally up here, but for some reason it keeps cutting out, which is actually why I moved my lives over to Restream, because I thought it was a StreamYard issue. And it turns out that maybe my mic is allergic to me. I don't know. So it got to the point where I had to literally bring it in here before it stopped cutting out. But yeah, no, it's a Rode mic or a blue. No, this one's not the Rode. This one's the Blue Eddie or something like that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. It's fancy. You look fancy. You look professional.
Yeah.
All right, so Sutton's Days, we've heard about the one project that Tup's been working on over the last 3 weeks. Do you want to go through the 85 that you've been working on?
You've been watching my Instagram?
I get so many Sutton's Days posts. I'm like, damn it. Every time I'm like, oh, I maybe have something that I'm going to, and then it's like, there's 7 posts from Sutton's Days. I'm like, I'm so ridiculously behind. I can only attempt to just play a different game.
Become less bougie. Bring in the dirt. I know.
Yeah.
No, it's May, so it is pure and utter chaos around here. I put 42 eggs in an incubator, only 6 hatch. They're probably all freaking roosters. Yeah, I've got 6 chicks that I have now taken off my dining room table and are in the garage. I gave away one of my roosters because I had too many for the number of hens I have. I planted 16 elderberry bushes.
I saw that. It was a forest of elderberry bushes.
It's going to be a forest of elderberry bushes. And that's not even all of them, because then I had a friend bring me down 36 cuttings of elderberries that I put in pots to start growing. Yeah. You're
going to have an orchard of
elderberry. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Filling raised beds like a lunatic. I've hauled easily 6 yards of dirt so far. Trying to get everything set up and ready for summer. Going to be great.
What's the plan with all the elderberries?
Because I do grow them.
Yeah, but I do elderberry supplements. Like, do you do like a jam or what? Like,
they actually no longer have an approved method for the jams and jellies, even though I'm hearing that somebody came out with a new one. So I got to go looking. But basically, I'm going to be teaching an elderberry 101 class at our local library later this summer, and I'm trying to only plant things that are perennial, will come back and are beneficial. So between elderberries and rhubarb, my saying lately has been she with the most rhubarb when she dies wins, and I'm no loser. So I'm planting rhubarb any place I can, because it comes back, and elderberry, same thing. I can actually, pardon me. I'm planning on doing a bunch of stuff, but then there's also elderberry wine, and Phil likes making moonshine. So
I didn't even know they had elderberry wine.
oh yeah,
Is there a song about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so much older than you guys. It sucks. But yeah. So elderberry wine, and basically, I mean, Phil and I got through a pretty wicked cold this past winter, thanks to elderberry. So it really does work. It is really, really good for you.
Nice. Yeah, I take a supplement daily, an elderberry supplement. But that's about it. But
I'm gonna grow my supplements.
nice. Made one.
I have an elderberry bush, and it has made all of 7 elderberries. And
you're not watering it enough.
I don't know what I'm doing with it. It just it starts and then it just gets fried and it just does
That's
weird
because
things.
you're not watering it enough. They require a lot of water.
All right.
Which is why it was so much fun planting those, because where I planted them, we're in a kind of swampy area, but we call it Sutton's Creek, because when it rains, it has a current, but it's not actually a creek. It's just a low part, but it's boggy as heck there. So I'm like, you know what? We'll put it there. It'll never dry up, and we'll see how it does. So,
well, that's awesome.
In the mud. I got to play in the mud.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I used to do elderberry in like smoothies, like the little tincture elderberries and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you have to cook it, otherwise fantastic. It's toxic.
Yeah,
toxic in the way that I want you to imagine overdosing on Imodium, whatever, MD or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that would not be a fun afternoon.
No,
I don't recommend that.
Be on steroids, it's bad. Yep. You ain't gonna die, but you're gonna wish you did.
So I wish I was as productive as any of you all.
You just went to Disneyland or something?
Yeah. So I got my steps in. We were getting like 28,000 steps a day.
Nice.
I'm hurting in a whole lot of ways. But I did get to try out some things. We shifted all of our battery packs and all of our battery chargers because we realized that some of them were not working or just kind of halfway working and everything else. So we did like a wholesale change of all of that. So now everything's on USB-C. It's all organized. I tried the MagSafe chargers. Have you guys tried the MagSafe, the magnetic ones that stick to the back of your phone?
No.
Okay. So yes. So it's like you take your phone and it's a little brick and it magnetizes to the back of your phone and charges your phone. I was super skeptical because I thought they were going to fall off immediately and there was no way it was going to work.
Android or iPhone?
Both.
Really?
Yeah. I think with Android, you might have to, there's like a little ring. So depending on the case you have, like you might need to do one or the other, but yeah, it works on both of them from what I know. So they're magnetic. So all the ones I got were Anchor. They were the Anchor magnetic power banks. And they have a bunch of different versions of it. I ordered 3 or 4 different kinds to test them out. The ones that I ended up using the most were the 10,000 milliamp storage ones. They're a little bit thicker than the 5,000, but you get like a full iPhone charge and then some, as opposed to like a 60% iPhone charge with the 5,000s.
Okay. Well, and that explains the price difference.
Yeah. And then there's ones that are like just pretty basic, and then there are ones that actually have like a little readout on the side where you can see how charged they are, and it has little kickstands to use it like a tripod and all that sort of stuff. So we got like a mixture of all of them.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the one with the kickstand and the charging monitor, because then I can just tell how long it's going to take to charge and all of that. But the ones that are less expensive, work just as well. They actually work better in the Disney Lightning lanes than the ones with the kickstand, because they're just a slight bit thinner. And so when you put it in the scanner, the whole thing can go in, as opposed to having to disconnect your phone and do the whole thing. So
I don't know what a lightning lane is.
Lightning lane, yeah, it's like like if you spend extra money, from what I understand, you spend extra money at Disneyland, you can basically cut the line and say, "Oh, I'm a lightning pass person," and then everyone's mad at you, and then you just cut through. So
Now to clarify,
that's
Did I say bougie? Okay,
yeah. No. So to clarify, the reason that we use it is they have a disability access system. So if you can't stand in lines,
Yep.
you can use the app and basically reserve whatever the standby time is for everything. So it's a 45-minute wait. You can basically virtually line up and then wait 45 minutes, but you can go sit in the shade or you can go eat or something if you can't
like when
stand.
they put you on hold and then they say, "Oh, well, when your place is
call you back."
reserved in line, we'll call you back.
Exactly. Yes. And we have, out of the 8 members of our family that went, 4 of them qualified for the disability pass. So we had a couple of those, and you use the lightning lanes scanners to get your disability pass scanning. So
does the magnetic charger, does that increase the dreaded prepper bulge?
I mean, a little bit if you've got it in your
I've always
pocket.
been worried about that with those things. So.
I mean, it does a little bit because it's
especially if you get the thick one,
thicker. But yeah.
I'm back. Okay.
Yeah, they're very thick. They're very thick.
They all say that.
Yeah. So so I didn't notice a huge difference, but then again, I wasn't necessarily concerned about what my pockets look like because we were just trying to make it work. Tup,
he's not.
Tup, let's talk about the kickstand on the charger.
I wasn't ready for that.
It's the tripod version. What are we talking about?
It's so innocent.
Yeah, is that a phone in your pocket? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly, Lori. Right?
100%. It escalated quickly. Like surprisingly, not as quickly as it often escalates, but I mean, it did go at a good pace. That is true.
I just want you to recognize that I did not start it, and if it passes out, I am never coming back on again.
If you pass out, you have to, because I will need a new co-host.
Oh, okay.
So so they were fantastic. They were a lovely addition to the thing. They charged super fast, and the most important thing is they didn't fall off of my phone. So I was worried if I was like taking it in and out of my pocket or doing stuff that the magnet wouldn't be strong enough, and they would just be flying all over the place or disconnecting and causing charging issues, and that was not the case. So
I will look into them.
Highly recommend that.
I'll take a look.
Tup, I'll send you one in the gutter where your mind is right now.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Prepper bulge is real.
It is. It is.
People, yes.
So always tell a prepper when they're with their pockets. Funny girl.
Yeah, Disney is a weird place to try to be a prepper because, like, with a lot of the like security screening and stuff like that, there's not a whole like. The stuff you would bring is more like little first aid kits, and you might take a flashlight, you might take some extra, like we took a bunch of snacks, we took water bottles.
Did you have a fanny
pack? We did. We had the kids each had a fanny pack.
Place for fanny packs. Okay.
Yeah, the kids each had a fanny pack. And they had we had little like battery charger phone like fans for them because it was gonna be warm. And water bottles and that sort of stuff. But you can't it's not the kind of place you could bring like a multi-tool or any sort of real like self-defense sort of an option or something like that because you're Disneyland.
Okay, I have a challenge for you, Tup. I need you to create a Disneyland EDC that you can carry in and get past security.
Yeah, those are always tricky because if you mess up, you lose your stuff. Like it's like we're traveling to Vegas in a couple of weeks, and so I think I'm going to have to make a similar EDC for traveling for a TSA approved one. But I imagine for Disney, mine would look pretty. Sorry,
is there a TSA approved? What can you take on that would be TSA approved?
Well, I know that some of the I'm always careful with the multi-tools or those
Yeah.
water
Right.
tools and stuff. I even don't like bringing flashlights on there because with the lithium batteries and
I
everything.
used to take knitting needles on the airplane. I don't know that you can anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so
I-
what happens if the bad guys get on the plane and try to take over the plane?
You have to have alternative preps, I guess. I could take that assignment on. We're not planning on going to Disneyland anytime soon, but I could
Okay.
maybe vary it.
Yeah.
It would be fanny pack
Fanny pack appropriate.
fanny pack driven.
Yeah. And the Vegas one too, because we were just in Vegas. And so yeah, the plane is really the more restrictive part of it. But once you get there, then it's
Are there security checkpoints I haven't been to Disneyland since I was in.
oh yeah. So they have like a whole you basically walk through a multi-security checkpoint thing. So there are dogs that are waiting at the front to check for things. Then you have a full bag search. Where they open anything that you have that's got a zipper or a pocket, you have to open it and show them what it is.
Like going to an NFL game or something where
Yeah.
does that have to be in a clear bag?
It doesn't have to be in a clear bag, no. And you can bring in, so like at an NFL thing, you can't bring in food or drinks or anything like that. Disney, you can bring in all of that sort of stuff. You can't bring in alcohol. You can't bring in any drugs. You can't bring in weapons. You can't bring in that sort of stuff. But anything else, you pretty much can. So like a multi-tool you could bring, except if it's got a blade on it, then they probably wouldn't let that.
I even get nervous because I have multi-tools that don't have blades on it, but I'm still worried that they're not going to know and they're just going to take it and like I'm
Yeah.
out the money.
Kaylin Strain said that the Victorinox now has a multi-tool that is no blade. It looks like any other Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, I have some of those. I also have there's a bladeless Leatherman Wave too, or there's other ones for multi-tools too. And I just get worried just because they're expensive and I don't want to like have that one
taken away.
Just taken away because they don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I had my bag searched at security at the airport because we put all of our charging and all of our cables and everything in Maxpedition pouches and stack them into. We got my wife got new bags. She's giving me a hard time about having all my backpacks. She got new bags for us to take on the trip. I'm like, nice. Okay, fine. So we stacked all of those in, and then I had my laptop, my iPad, all that sort of stuff, and ran that through, and they pulled all of the stuff out because there were too many wires and too many things. And so they needed to run it through a couple of times to verify that, like, they didn't necessarily unzip and open everything, but they were like, we just need to check because this looks like you've got a lot of wires and electronics in here. So I do. Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, I've got all kinds of chargers. You can look at anything you want to. But yeah, the multi-tool thing is kind of an edgy one where depending on the security person you found, they may or may not let you take it, and there's only so much arguing you can do if you actually want to catch your flight.
What would you use a multi-tool at Disneyland for? But
I mean,
even in an emergency situation, I'm trying to figure out.
I'm thinking what would you have on you to go all Bruce Willis on somebody?
Yeah. What's your Bruce Willis EDC?
Yeah.
Your what's the tower?
It's Die Hard.
Takanaki Plaza or
something like
Takanada Plaza or something.
Die Hard.
What's the EDC for that?
Yeah, you need the Bruce Willis EDC.
Yeah, I mean, I guess depending on what it is, depending on what the situation though is, Disneyland has a lot of there's a lot of supplies around Disneyland if you needed to commandeer stuff.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they have all kinds of. There's concession stands. There's food. There's restaurants. There's merchandise places and everything. So you can find a pen. You could probably find a pair of scissors and some of that sort of stuff and tape or whatever. But for the most part, I think it would just be trying to get out of there, which is I mean, you're not high, but there's only so many exit points from the park.
And that could get crowded very quickly.
Yeah. And there's actually at Disneyland, there's two parks and they all feed into one kind of main thoroughfare to exit. So
can you imagine if there was some kind of something?
Oh, yeah, that would not be fun.
No.
Especially if you were on It's a Small World and then you're in a tiny boat while it was happening. It would be problematic.
It would.
It would be an international incident as you're going through all the different countries.
Hi, thank you. I'm staying home for sure now. Okay.
Yeah. If you're in Space Mountain, at least you'd be in the dark, so you wouldn't know what was happening. It would just be.
Sometimes being in the dark is a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Rory saying to MacGyver it, so which is always good.
Yeah.
MacGyver's like the old
Nakatomi.
Nakatomi Tower, 1988.
Thank you.
Yeah. Our chat section is the best.
Total preparedness fail.
Yeah.
I don't know. He still pulled through pretty well.
Yeah, that's where they always say like it's more about like knowledge and skills is what.
Yeah.
More than gear, so that's where John McCain,
John McCain.
Where he came.
That was his name, John McCain.
That's all right.
Yeah.
No, John McClane.
John McCain. John McCain's a politician.
Yeah.
We're definitely going with the L.
Each other.
Put the L in there.
Those two are just like so close to it.
How do I know? Okay.
The other thing though, too, Tup, is when you go to Vegas, like that, I think there is the disaster EDC, and then there is the just different than your normal EDC for the location you're going to.
Normally when I travel, it's like a scaled down EDC, but that's all that I don't have to worry about too much. But normally when I'm traveling, I'm by myself, and now with kids, like I'm more into like the tracking them and all that. So
there's that, and there's things like, I mean, especially if they're walking a lot, if you guys are going to walk a lot, but you don't usually, there's blister pads and all that sort of stuff that you're going to want to make sure that you have.
I've never gotten a blister ever. So I used to have blister pads.
You just messed up big time.
You just told the universe dare.
It's
double
true.
dog dare.
Yeah, I've never had one. So.
Yeah.
But I've always had it in my kits, and I'm always like, gosh, I just take that out. But then like other people get it, and so then I it's nice being like the savior for others. So sometimes
there's top.
Yeah.
Here to save the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's also depending on where you're staying, which I'm not going to ask you to say on the thing. There are like
the Mirage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we stayed at the Venetian, which is right across the street. There's a Walgreens and a CVS that are like a block away. So if you need any of those sorts of things, you could just buy them when you get there. But just the things that you want to make sure that you're thinking about when you're there.
Yeah, we want to stay at the Mandalay Bay because they have like I hear the pool's nice. The swimming area is really nice there.
It is very nice. It's like a whole beach thing, and then they have like the
I'm gonna think
shark
about it.
aquarium.
My wife usually hates it when I'm thinking about prepping videos when we're on a family vacation, but maybe I could.
That's okay. I brought the hotel lock thing that you recommended.
Yeah.
On the last 2 trips, planning on at least taking a picture of it or something, and it's still in the box in the back.
Oh, it is.
I haven't remembered to bring it out one time.
Yeah, the one that the one that my wife supports, but I don't know if it was a good idea. Was when I got her the UV light for searching.
Why?
You know, why would you do that?
Well, now she always brings it to anytime we travel. Not satisfied with it.
That was a poor life choice right there.
Yeah,
don't ask questions you don't want the answers to.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
sometimes you just don't want to know.
No.
All right. Well, so it's gonna be very exciting. I'm gonna be very excited to hear about the Vegas trip. And if
there was for SHOT
what
Show,
happens in Vegas
right before COVID, that was that SHOT Show then. So it's been a while, so it'll be fun for sure.
Yeah, well, especially bringing the kids. The kids add a different element to Vegas.
Yeah, I've never been. They don't remember being on a plane, so they're all excited for that.
Oh, very nice.
We want to do something to celebrate like the end of school year because my son's going to high school next year, so it's like his 8th grade graduation. So it should be fun. I've been on a heart monitor for the past few weeks, and so I have to travel with a heart monitor. So
again, or the same
more?
One?
This is a different one. Well, it's like let me see.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, so I have to.
They're still trying to figure out what's going on.
No, they're just trying to. It's to track things a little bit on me for a month to make sure everything is good, and then if everything's good, then I could probably get off one of the medications as well.
Oh, good.
Okay, that would be good.
But it's kind of annoying to having this thing here. It's like it's now part of my new EDC. So.
Right.
Yeah. So Lisa, about this co-hosting,
shave. Yeah.
How's your option? Can we option you for?
How's your heart?
Yeah, exactly.
Have your people talk to my people.
Fair. Okay. All right. That's fantastic.
It'll become a little less bougie, though. I'm telling you.
That's okay. It's a good balance. It's like Bougie and the Beast or something like that.
And
I
I'm
don't
the
know.
Beast.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Yeah,
No,
we'll
it
just
works.
figure something.
That's
It
catching
works.
me.
Hmm.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness.
So what
Yeah.
have you done for prepping?
Me,
Yeah.
not a whole. We got home and I started looking at kind of like our garden beds and stuff like that. I need to clean those out and do that. Cleaned out the chicken coop before we left. So the chickens are happy and laying eggs, which is lovely. All 4 of them, not the hundreds probably that are wandering around in the Sutton's Day farm facility. I'm always like, oh, we planted 36 elderberries. I have 1. We planted, okay, yeah. So yeah, and then we were trying to I did a bunch of paperwork stuff that's not super fun, but just trying to do that, especially before we travel. I always try to get like, all right, where are all the plans? Where's the emergency documents?
Right.
Where's all that stuff? Who needs to know what? And,
You don't have an emergency binder?
we do. We have a few of them. So we have one main one, and then I realized that I had created a specific type of trust, a firearms trust, and had thought that we had completed it, and then in going back and trying to find it, realized that we had not completed it. So I was trying to like track that down. But we have like the estate plan and all of those documents and all that sort of stuff. That's all in one binder in one office, and we have a second copy in another office, and we have it digitized and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, but I always like to make sure that like, okay, is the life insurance is active?
Yeah.
Plans are all in place. Everybody knows where we're going. Do we, does anyone need to know the door code or anything like that? So
good thing.
So we did a little of that. We did a little spring cleaning. My wife is so excited. I haven't seen you, I don't think, since you were like, hey, get the blankets and everything and put them in vacuum bags and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, my wife is so excited by what you inspired me to do. She was like, Sutton's Day is my hero.
Bagging everything?
So yeah, so now we're vacuum bagging everything. Okay. We have lots of that. I got rid of a whole drawer full of t-shirts because you were like, hey, why do you need them? And I was like, that's a fantastic point. And my wife was like, I've only told you this for weeks, but if Sutton's Days will get you to do it, then that's fantastic. Like, don't great. So yeah, so we cleaned all that sort of stuff out. Yeah, and then it was kind of like, what do we do with stuff going into the trips and using that as a little bit of a. So it was refining some of the little pouches that we have, and I'm still working on. I'm calling it my executive go bag. I don't know what I'm going to call it at some point, but the idea is like I've had forever my messenger bag that's a 511 messenger bag and pouches that are all what is it called? Maxpedition pouches. Mm-hmm. So it all looks very tactical, even though I have hilarious things stuck on all of them.
Patches.
Yeah, exactly. And my wife, we were in Vegas, was like, hey, you should get a nice bag in case you're going to a client's office or something, instead of taking your, tactical bag with you everywhere. Mm-hmm. So I got a nicer backpack for my laptop and all that sort of stuff. But I want to have some of the things that I would normally take in my bag, but I also want it to look slightly more professional. So I'm trying to find like, okay, what are pouches that look a little less tactical where I can still put all of the stuff that I would normally have, but just for appearances look differently.
Right.
So yeah, so that's the project. So I have like 16 different pouches that got delivered while we were on vacation that I'm now trying to figure out like which ones we're going to keep and which ones I'm going to get, return and what the sizes are and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. Yeah. It's the bougie get home bag. I think. Yeah.
I can't wait to see a demonstration of it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be awesome. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How to be the prepper exec. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like I would say it's a bit like professional gray man. Like if you are trying to go into like an agency or an office or something like that, if you roll in tactical, like that kind of sticks out a little bit. Yeah. So how do we make it a little less, but have all of the things and all of the stuff? So
you have to get it in very small little containers and put it in your pocket, but be conscious about prepper bulge.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes when you're going into meet, you may want the prepper bowl. You may want, depending on the size, depending on the equipment that you would need.
This is going downhill quick.
I mean, it was going downhill for the last 20 minutes. I don't know I don't know where you've been in all of this conversation, but
all I did is answer Tup's question about bulge and thickness. Anyway,
that's why we don't ask Tup questions.
No, I answered. I didn't ask.
Yeah.
I'm innocent. Yeah.
So when you travel, Lisa, do you have special? Okay.
Yeah. I have worked
answers
very
that
hard
question.
to get to the point in my life where I don't leave my home, and if I do, it's literally, do you know how Google will tell you where you've traveled to if you turn on the location thing? It'll tell you where you've been, all that fun stuff.
Yep.
And for some reason, I turned that on so that it sends me an email every single month to go, loser, leave your house, because it's like the same 3 places. Yeah, I don't travel. I might be traveling this summer one time for work, and that'll be out of state. But other than that, I literally am going to have to jump through hoops to get somebody to stay with my animals so I can go down to a major big bookstore that I want to go to in Detroit. So, yeah. Because I don't want time constraints. When I walk into this bookstore, I want to breathe in, breathe out, and say, get out of my way, because I'm going to be there for a while.
What is this bookstore?
John King Books in Detroit. It is exceptionally old, 4-floor bookstore. And they have old antique specialty books. It's just I'm a book person.
So speaking of Disneyland, this would be your Disneyland.
Would be my Disneyland. Beats the hell out of Mickey Mouse. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
You don't have to wait an hour to meet him.
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Nope. But I do need somebody, because it takes, a little over 3 hours to get down there and a little over 3 hours to get back. And then there's going to be no less than 4 hours in the store.
A 3-hour drive for a bookstore?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And worth every single mile.
Wow.
You're not going to find Nora Roberts there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, it is a bookworm's paradise.
Okay. Yeah. Kat, you were thinking the same thing I was, which was, how does it compare to Powell's? Because being from Portland, like, Powell's is the mecca of books to a lot of people. Sometime we'll fly you out and you can come check out Powell's.
God. This is 4 floors of used and rare books. And it's like every nook and cranny. It's actually, if you Google it, it's John King Books in Detroit. And it's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. Well, we're going to be so when are you going to this place? You're going this summer?
As soon as I can find somebody who will stay at my house.
Okay.
And take care of pigs and chickens and dogs and cats. And not burn down my house.
Well, Google will be happy that you've traveled outside of your normal.
That will tell me, yeah. Oh, Google just about did cartwheels when I went to, where did I go? A state that starts with an M. Anyway, I went to do a presentation. Missouri, thank you. I went to do a presentation for 4 Jars at an event, and Phil doesn't really care much for flying, so we drove. And Google's like, you left the state. Oh my God. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah. I'm screenshotting this and saving it for, posterity. But
how do you what did you set up? Google has never cared where I went. I have never gotten like a congratulatory message or anything from Google. Every once in a while, it'll tell me like where it thinks I'm driving to, and then offer to give me directions there based on like the time and everything. And I'm like,
no, I mean,
there's
Google Maps. Right. Yeah, there's Google Maps, but there is there's a setting in your phone where it will. I'm not going to say it's a location tracker. It's more of, it has something to do with your location, and it will track where you go. Probably down to the very, address, but for this purpose. And then once a month, I get an email that I am trying to locate so I can show you how ridiculous the map is. And it says, you went to 1 county and 2 cities and 3 places, and if you actually went anywhere, to be kind of a cool thing to look at, I don't go anywhere. So
that's fantastic.
It's the little things that, just.
I think the thing that I love the most about it is the irony to me of you who doesn't go anywhere gets an email from Google telling you that it's tracked you to where you haven't gone.
Yes.
Compared to me, who doesn't really care about any of that sort of stuff and lets anyone track me anywhere I want to, and no one ever sends me anything.
Nobody ever lets you know that they're watching you?
No.
They're watching you.
Yeah, I figure they are. I'm like, what are you going to do? To meet me at the Whole Foods? I don't care. Yeah.
I hope I didn't delete it. I normally don't. But yeah, it's because I live in Michigan, so there's the map. And you just can see she went here and here. That's it.
Tup, I was just thinking about your trip and traveling and everything else. Have you done TSA pre-check?
No.
Oh, okay.
I used to travel a lot more.
Yeah. Oh, that's very cool.
It just tells you kind of where you went. Yeah. It's
I have that disabled on all of my
do you?
devices. Oh yeah.
I'm like, find me.
Yeah.
I'm 58 years old and I'm in a bad mood. Come on.
And then I also put them in Faraday bags every month.
Yeah.
Mess
No.
with the system.
1 country, 8 cities, 34 places. That's an exceptionally busy month. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, interrupted. I found
that's yeah. I always think it's funny too because Tup is the king of he put things in Faraday bags and doesn't want anyone to track him anywhere at any time for any reason.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I have Alexa everywhere in my house and everything else because I want it to recommend things and get to know me. And I'm trying to figure out how to make my own AI so that I can talk to it and it can do things for me because that's just where I am.
Do what?
Well, they can't do anything yet, but there are lots of times where instead of searching for something on Google or trying to answer a question, if I just ask someone a question, my therapist has told me, because I'm a big fan of therapy, that I have an issue with patience. And so if I want to know the answer to something and then people are not figuring it out, drives me nuts. And I just want to there have been many times in my marriage where I will have a question and my wife will be like, oh, well, I sent an email and we'll wait and hear back. And I'm like, okay, that could be 3 days from now. And then I will pick up the phone and call whatever the place is just because I want to know faster than what a normal person might.
Mm-hmm.
And so with a lot of the AI things, being able to ask it questions that just spring into my head in the random way that it does to get an answer to make me not have to search as much. I love that for me.
Don't you worry? I mean, I'm not horribly fearful of AI, but I'm also old. I'm not going to live long enough. But aren't you fearful to some extent how much, because they've already proven that they are listening and it is being recorded and they know what's going on. And I mean, granted, if you want to listen to me talking to my dogs, go for it. But it's kind of I used to live on a major highway. They're like, why don't you ever close your blinds? I'm like, A, if they can see when they're going 55 miles an hour, more power to them. B, if they're dumb enough to look at my windows, they deserve what they see. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing with listening in.
Yeah.
But aren't you a little fearful of getting all integrated with AI and having it in all your stuff?
Not particularly, because I don't think, if any of my stuff ever got out, you've got my grocery shopping list, you've got random questions that I've asked, there's not going to be a thing. There's not a secret video that is going to get leaked on the internet there's not some nefarious manufacturing thing that we are running, out of a basement or something there's not that sort of a thing. So, I mean, there's some stuff that I would prefer that the general public probably didn't know about me or anything like that. But there was this time in college.
So
but the rest of it, it's being able to have the ability to search and ask questions and that sort of stuff, and being able to tell an Echo Dot or something that I'm ready to go to bed, and it can just turn all the lights off in my house. Okay, does Amazon care that I just turned all the lights off in my house? Probably not. If they did, I turned the lights off in my house. But it saved me a bunch of time going around turning all the lights off.
Okay, so wait a second. I'm gonna have fun with this. So, Tup, do you have any of these things in your house?
We have one in my son's bedroom for an alarm clock, but I'm not a fan of them in public areas within the home for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not I think it's also a lot of this is scary stuff for me. So
Okay, I have one in the bathroom because I say, "Hey Google, play." Oh shoot, it's gonna turn. Okay, and I'll have it play whatever music. Thank you. I'll have it play whatever music or news or whatever I want to listen to while I'm getting ready. But because AI is developing so quickly, and it is so unregulated still.
yeah, the genie's out of the
And
lantern.
yeah,
The lamp. You can't. Yeah.
yeah, and to have it involved to the point where it can impact your electricity, where it can impact your heat, where it can impact your security. And if it can do all that, what's to say that it can't get into your computers where all of your important information is?
I mean, it 100% could,
Yeah.
but like also then like, okay, using like a cloud backup system, like,
Yeah.
Okay, somebody could hack the cloud. Like
Yeah, they
somebody
could.
could hack a lot of things.
Have they ever had anybody try to hack the cloud? They've had.
Oh yeah, people have hacked like iPhoto, like there was a person who hacked a bunch of celebrity phones and got a bunch of incriminating pictures and put it out there and stuff. Like, I mean, there are people who have done it.
Okay.
On the whole, it's not a thing that at least as far as I've heard happens regularly.
Okay.
And if it's a trade-off. Okay, what is the thing that they're going to take and hack versus what is the utility to me to have access to that thing and have copies of it and wherever I would need it.
Okay.
And there isn't anything for me that I'm like, okay, that is, such a thing, but
they could
just me.
Shut down your life like that.
I mean, but like maybe, but I feel like that would be a really extreme thing to do to a random guy who lives in,
the
Oregon.
bougie prepper in Oregon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I also feel like there are lots of people who are probably like, if a hacker was going to make a point,
yes,
is it going to make a point on a random suburban person, or are they going to go after like a politician, a celebrity, an athlete, somebody like that, where it will get noticed and they will get notoriety for it?
Gotcha. Heather D, please send me an email and I'll answer it.
Yeah, it looks like there's a canning question there. Yeah, I think John Connor warned us about all this stuff.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people should be pretty careful with what they're giving out, because especially if it's for free, because then that means that you're the product. And,
yeah. Well, and that's why.
The genie's out of the lamp, though, for sure. So it's hard to. I don't know if they're going to regulate it. It's moving so fast that, and the way that regulations work, which moves really slow, that doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and there's interesting things too in like some of the models like ChatGPT and stuff like that. That's free. Okay, you're putting stuff in there. It's using it for its model.
You're building their database.
Yeah, but there's other ones like Llama, from what I understand, is its own thing, and it actually runs locally and it doesn't connect to anything else. Really? So you can basically have your own custom AI that you would generate and run. So I have a couple friends that are like, oh, maybe what we'll do is like, essentially you would kind of use like a Google Doc or a notepad or something and like write down like things that have happened in your day, in your life, whatever. And then you could train your own personal AI to know kind of who you are. So when you ask it questions, it responds with things that you already know about and things that you like, and has an idea of like what you wouldn't like to, learn about. Or when you ask it a question, it has analogies that make sense based on like what you enjoy.
Hell no.
Yeah.
You can't get a spouse to do that half the time. I don't want a computer to. Hell no. Okay.
Yeah, the robots are coming.
Yep. Terminator, Sarah Connor.
Mm-hmm.
The whole deal.
Yeah.
We got to get rogue preparedness ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Sarah Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once the robotics catch up with AI, it's going to be scary, because I mean it'll move so fast that human eyes probably can't. We can't track the movement of these things. So.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
They're coming to get you. Hee hee ha ha.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know,
There-
we'll be
there's a
able to
benefit.
make great food with whatever tools they give us in the
There's a
little
benefit to
robot.
being older than fart dust. I'm telling you.
Oh my goodness. All right. How do we wrap this one up?
Well,
I don't know.
Older than fart dust is a pretty good.
I mean, that's a pretty good one to
closing.
end on.
Please remember to watch your prepper bulge when
Yes.
you are going out in public.
Yes.
See, yeah, that is words to live by.
Okay.
What we need is that, like, the more you know thing.
The less you should show.
Yes.
And with that, everyone, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for joining us. We've enjoyed having you. We've enjoyed being back. We've enjoyed having Sutton's Days join us. And we actually were here, which was a plus, as opposed to all the times that we've invited her and then didn't show up and ghosted her.
Yeah.
That was not a good plan.
That was awesome.
Yeah. That was we were
I'm
winning.
glad I'm married because that was getting rude. Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully, it sounds like we'll at least be back on Wednesdays for the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
That's the goal, at least.
If I see you here, I will check in.
Exactly. We will give you the link in advance in case we do actually attend our own stream. Then you can join us.
Okay.
How about that? All right,
Okay.
everybody. Thanks.